is up, everybody? Welcome to today's News Tonight, episode 149. Wow. that feels heavy. I'm your host for this episode, Steve Bowling. As you can see, I'm joined as always by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Ash Paulson and Derek Bittner. And we have our returning friend and special guest, Iron Andy. How's it going, man?
Oh, man, real good. I can't believe it. I tricked you guys. You let me back in. You couldn't regret it.
I thought about it, and I was like, okay, this is a good idea, but then I saw that you changed your hair color without telling me, and I wasn't emotionally prepared, and now I have regrets, man. I wasn't ready for your...
That's a betrayal. You have to consult your friends before you change your hair color. That's just the law.
You're right. I'm so sorry, guys. I won't do that again. I'm gonna go. You know. I'm just gonna go.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. I did my best to match you with my Pokemon beanie. I was having a bad hair day, and I was like, you know what? Bad hair days equal beanie days. So today's a beanie day, and I tried to match your red with my Pokemon red.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I appreciate it.
You're more critical.
I think it looks good.
I am pretty critical.
Yes, you are.
Everybody
is their own worst critic, though. I get it.
That's true.
I cannot watch if you guys watched our recent cross save video, like I actually did one of my first ever on camera introductions for that, and the process of doing that was a nightmare. Like having to watch my own face say words full screen. I didn't even have the benefit of being a tiny window. I was like, get this man off of my monitor immediately. I hate him and everything about his stupid face.
I don't know, man. Your beard is on point today.
Thank you.
I am attracted to it like a bear to honey.
Oh man!
Wow,
it's getting spicy. It's not even the post show yet.
Yeah,
we barely even started
the post show.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
Andy,
I took a nap.
The show.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we do have a bunch of news to talk about today. Interesting topics, too, I have to say. I was surprised. Like, I went and
actually a
news.
Pretty good news day.
Yeah, I was buried in work today, and I went back to gather, and I was like, oh, man, I didn't really hear about anything. Probably not a lot. And I was like, holy hell, there's so many things we could talk about. Before I get to those, though, I do want to highlight a super chat from Jaden Buck, which has become a Friday tradition here on TNT. Jaden Buck with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, Crazy Question Fridays, crazy question number 13. Wow, 13 weeks.
Right?
Says, how ironic is it that you have Iron Andy on the show while you're going to be talking about Advance Wars, a game with a character named Andy? Hey,
it was meant to be.
I mean,
and
I hadn't even thought about that.
Andy's jumpsuit is the same color as Andy's hair.
It is.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. I love
We totally didn't plan this. Wink.
Right. And speaking of not planning things, as Spicy Pandaughter in our YouTube chat says, crazy question number 13 on the week of Sora's Smash Brothers release. That is indeed perfect. That we planned, obviously.
Well,
that was
obviously,
completely
gosh.
Yeah.
We had the inside info on that one.
Yeah.
Jane Buck is a secret GVG agent, of course.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, it's been alluded to. So let's say we get to our very first news story and we talk about, Andy. Let me go ahead and throw that up on screen.
I love talking about Andy. Andy loves talking about Andy. All the time.
So for those of you that don't know, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, and by extension Andy, have been delayed. Nintendo announced on Twitter today that Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp was originally set to launch on December 3rd and has now been pushed to the nebulous window of spring 2022. I wonder what happened here, honestly, because December, they announced it with a relatively short release window attached to it. And usually with Nintendo, that's indicative of the game just being done, like ready to go, and they're just sitting on it. It's very rare that they give you a specific day and date and then delay further. It's always like, hey, this game's going to come out in 2015. We're just kidding. 16, 17. Talking about your Breath of the Wild.
I mean, they probably didn't want to compete with the juggernaut that is their own Big Brain Academy. That is just too much for them to handle. It's
obviously.
It's not really going to go well. Honestly, I think it might just be this game is going to be just overtaken. I mean, it gives it a little bit more time to polish. I mean, it might do all right in December, but it just feels like there's so much coming out, especially in November, that might have a little trouble. And I forget who it was, but I saw somebody mention that it is also sandwiched between two Pokemon titles. that's not a great. It's not a great spot. So maybe March is a little bit better.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's more about that, about the positioning of its release, because it might have gotten just swamped in December. Not to say that Advance Wars isn't deserving of the attention, but I just don't know if it really carries the brand power to be sandwiched between something like two Pokemon games, right? So yeah, I think probably as bad as I feel for Advance Wars fans, I think this is probably best for the game's potential in the long run in terms of sales and attention and attraction.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I was thinking about it, and like Derek alluded to, November is a pretty packed month. We also have SMT5 coming out, which I think could... I think that Advance Wars, looking at it in like the holiday shopping season, runs a far greater risk of being overlooked by people than it does when there's less coming out for it to compete with. I think it's wise to push it out during a time of year where it's a little more likely to succeed, I think.
I was super late to the... I'm sorry. I'm super late to the Advance Wars party when it was originally out, and I kind of feel like it was a similar situation for me. Like, I just hadn't heard about the game, and there were a lot of other games that I was playing at the time, and so then I actually revisited it. Like, you know, I dusted off my Game Boy Advance, and I was like, let's check out these games. I found a bunch of them at like a used game store, but yeah, I think that's probably the best decision that they could make. You know, I mean, come on, I'm going to be just addicted to Pokemon. I've already got my pre-orders in.
Nice.
Yeah, I think between you got the ever-present Pokemon, and it really does feel like SMT5 could be the breakout entry in that series, in the same vein as Persona 4, even Persona 3, where it just gets people much more interested in the series than they would otherwise. It seems like it's just not going to maybe do the best, and a lot of times Nintendo doesn't care about that thing, that sort of aspect, because let's remember, Nintendo did famously release Super Mario 3D World and A Link Between Worlds on the same day.
That was an amazing day. I'll never forget that. That was awesome.
I do wonder, that aspect of it is like, either are they trying to position it better, or is there definitely a bit more polish needed in order to have it be ready to go? Because Nintendo a lot of times will even with this, release 2 games on the same day and just not care. It's like, there you go. We'll see how you do. I don't know.
Well, Derek, you may be onto something there, and normally I know we read out super chats between stories, but Captain J Linebeck may be onto something here with their 15 Malaysian ringgit donation. Thank you, by the way, Captain J Linebeck, saying, I found it weird that WayForward showed nothing of the Advance Wars 2 side of the game while announcing a set release date, but hey, so maybe there is just some more time needed. And sorry, Steve, didn't mean to step on your toes. I just figured it was good.
I was going to read the exact same one.
Oh, GMTA then. Awesome. Gotcha.
Yeah, I feel like I could take it either way, to be honest. I wonder if maybe they're trying to give Shin Megami Tensei 5 room to breathe, by the way. If you'd like to know more about that, you should probably just, I don't know, stay tuned on the channel for the next few days. But I'm torn, because I feel like they wouldn't pin down a specific date that was so close. Like if it was, hey, it's going to release next March, and then they say, we're pushing it more nebulously. But when they have a very specific date in mind and it's so close, I feel like the game had to have already passed lot check or something for Nintendo to be that confident, especially because it's not an internally developed game. Unless WayForward discovered just something really, really bad at the 11th hour, or maybe they thought they could fix something and Nintendo was confident that they'd pull it out. I feel like it's got to be a more marketing-based decision on this one. I bet, we know that Nintendo has literally sat on games for over a year before, just waiting for the right time to push them out into the market. So while it's true that they did release 3D World and Link Between Worlds at the same time, those are also games that sell themselves. Like Mario and Zelda are going to sell no matter when the hell you put them out. You could put them out on the day of your dad's funeral, and there's still a guy going out to GameStop being like, sorry, Dad.
You get it, Dad.
Yeah, you understand.
It's like he pulls up in the hearse, and the body's still in the back, and he's like, well, I mean, he's not going anywhere. And
listen, Dad's going to be dead forever.
Gotta get Breath of the Wild 2. I get it, guys. I don't care. It smells. I get it. But this game's important to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders if I really would just be like, well, the old man's dead.
It's on the way.
Yeah. Look, just
let's save gas. We gotta save.
We
the,
mourn in
the
our own ways.
Yeah, we mourn in our own. I just picture someone like
sword.
You know that if Breath of the Wild 2 came out in like 2002 to 2005-ish, there would almost certainly be a commercial of someone playing Breath of the Wild 2 at a funeral. And they'd be like giving a eulogy, and someone in the pews would be like, yes! And then they'd be like, oh.
Hopefully not. I can't imagine that'd be the best look for the game. Or
I guess not.
Yeah.
But,
02 to 05 Nintendo was a little more cringy in their US advertising. Remember, this is the company that, one, thought it would be a good idea to release a tribal tattoo version of the Game Boy Advance SP, and two, market it by showing Mario with a shitty tribal armband tattoo in an official render.
There's also that wonderful commercial of Kirby walking with a giant finger, and just the tagline is "Touching is good."
Yep.
Right. And remember that really
curse.
problematic in hindsight Dr. Mario commercial? I think it was for the Game Boy version where it had like the witch doctor and just all that incredibly offensive imagery.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you want to, Nintendo's had some weird commercials over the years. I'd still think their worst commercial ever was Yoshi's Island.
Oh, God. Oh,
yeah.
That was so hard to watch.
That one was awful.
You might as well be watching 7 at that point. Because it's basically the same setup.
It's pretty bad. When you could liken it to 7, that underscores how bad it actually is. I can just see Brad Pitt. Oh, what's in the egg? What's in the egg? Oh, what's in the egg?
There is an alternate. We saw Fire Emblem was saved thanks to Awakening and the introduction of waifus. We might be giving more time for waifus in Advance Wars. There's a few in there, but there might be upping them. You can date the tank. It's only a matter of time.
Oh God,
love is love, baby.
Yeah, indeed.
Date a tank.
By the way, I just pulled up that commercial, and I did see that commercial. And that commercial did give me nightmares of the dude eating, and I was just
You have this bright, sunny, wonderful, kid-friendly game, and you decide to market it to just that way. Who thought of that?
Yeah, like why? Why?
I mean, you have to remember, it's memorable, though. It works, like, in a weird way. I remember being a kid and thumbing through EGM and seeing a full-page scratch and sniff ad for Earthbound, and it smelled like rotten eggs. Like, it was terrible.
This game stinks. Yep.
Gee, I wonder why it didn't sell well.
I mean, I didn't buy the game, but I remember the ad.
On the opposite side of things of magazine, my favorite magazine ad I ever saw was for the original Paper Mario, where it's just a cutout of Paper Mario and it said free demo.
Oh yeah,
I remember that one.
That's clever. That's fun.
Clever.
Yeah, you guys remember the first Super Smash Brothers ad, right?
Oh, everyone.
Of course, it's iconic.
I had no idea what that game was about. I saw the ad and I was just like, these mascots are punching each other. I got to go buy this game.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was about.
How cool would it be if they could do like a new version of that commercial for Smash Ultimate? Like let's say they ever did like a Game of the Year version of Smash Ultimate with all the DLC pre-installed. If they could do a commercial of like, Sonic and Mega Man and Sora and, in those goofy costumes and just basically an expanded version of that OG commercial, that would be so cool.
No, what they do is they have a commercial where it's all the characters that everybody wanted that didn't get in, like Waluigi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone just beating up Waluigi.
Wow. I would love that.
Oh, man. I would too.
All right. Before we move on to our next story, we do have a few super chats. I'm going to pick a couple out here to read. For those of you that don't remember, super chats do pop up right over here. It's all mirrored, so I don't know. It's somewhere near my head. You'll see the super chats, but I want to pick out a couple that were particularly interesting. I also want to thank Story Smith for their super generous $19.99 super chat. Trying to make the choice between corn dogs or pizza rolls for dinner. both. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Live your best life.
Why not both? Yeah, get both.
Life.
It's Friday. It's Friday. Celebrate the weekend.
Corn dogs sound more filling. If you have to choose one, I go corn dogs because that seems a bit more filling.
Absolutely.
And less torturous on your mouth if you heat it up wrong.
Yeah, that's true too. Late Night Sprites with a $2 super chat says, "02 Nintendo had old people killing each other for GBAs." I'm trying to remember that one, but like I said, 02 to 05, Nintendo's was like.
I mean, it wasn't just Nintendo. There was some weird Sony and Xbox ads as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rec BCQ with a $5 super chat says, "Saw a GameStop deal for a refurbished Switch OLED. How did people break it that quickly?" One word for you, my friend: kids. I guarantee you, whoever owned that has kids.
Yeah.
My kids have seen mine, and they're like, "I want that." I just have to stare back at them and be like, "No," because I will cry. Do you want to make your dad cry? Of course, the answer to that is yes. Always.
Yes, we want to make father cry.
I mean,
now
the
you're
answer
just
sweetening the pot, Dad. Finally, Screamo Shaman with $4.99 says, "One SNES commercial had music by the Butthole Surfers. Not a joke. That's a real thing." I hate to say it, but I'm totally aware of the fact that there's a band called Butthole Surfers out there.
Same.
I know that.
I am aware.
And also, Screamo Shaman, thank you for the reminder. By the way, you had another super chat talking about Klonoa 2 vinyls. I just realized I haven't received either my Klonoa 1 or 2 vinyls, so I need to get a hold of. Is it Ship to Shore? I can't remember the company, but I got to call them and figure that out. So thank you
that you
for the
gave
reminder.
them money and forgot who they even are doesn't
I know,
well
right?
for your quest.
There's a guy in the corner. He was selling pre-orders, this vinyl, and I mean, Klonoa was spelt wrong. But
Klonoa with the C.
It is. No, I was right. It's Ship to Shore. I thought it was. Right. I was correct. So yeah, I got to get a hold of them and figure that out, though. Thank you for the reminder, Screamo Shaman.
Ash is going to get a response, something like, "Sir, we apologize to inform you that your order of Cloaca vinyl is no longer in stock."
I'm just going to get an email back saying "Wahoo," and that's it. Nothing else. Just Wahoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly hope that your money doesn't get stolen from you, Ash. But
oh no, yeah, I think it'll be okay.
Let's go ahead and bring up our next story.
Speaking of theft.
We finally have a look at the worst kept secret in gaming. Rockstar and Nintendo both showed off footage of Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy Definitive Edition. Apparently it's coming out on the eShop on November 11th, and then a physical version will drop in stores on December 7th. The trailer is pretty short. It takes you through San Andreas, Vice City, and the original GTA 3. With varying levels of quality, I would say. I don't think they all kind of... Like, GTA 3 looks downright primitive. Even remastered, right. It looks very...
Like I think there's only so much you can do.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They went for like a much more almost cartoony aesthetic to make it make sense, because those character models, like, they don't look great. Like, they're all kind of weird proportions.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's like... apparently on PS5 and Xbox Series X, it'll be at 4K, 60 FPS. They added like reflections to the cars, stuff like that. Like your typical remaster stuff. Like if you've ever seen like a fan remaster of one of these games, you're probably in the right ballpark. The Switch did get gyro aiming. And then for some reason, like there's a weird deal. Like you buy these games, I assume, together, but Game Pass is getting just San Andreas, and PlayStation is getting just vanilla GTA 3 as like free games on their services. And I guess you can buy the other two.
I guess I saw also like somebody was like, "Well, does that mean the Switch expansion pack gets the other one, the last one?"
I doubt it.
Funny.
That would be.
Wouldn't that be
nice?
Cool. You got Vice City, yeah.
There are some. They have a graphic here that shows off some of the enhancements, where they'll have a GTA 5 style controller layout. So people who play GTA 5 will be able to jump back into this pretty easily. Improved gunplay and targeting controls, which, yeah, that's nice, considering targeting in those old games were pretty crappy.
Yeah.
And ability to immediately restart a failed mission. Oh, God, yes.
Love that.
That is that's massive. Nice. massive upgrade just to the gameplay aspect. And of course, all the high resolution stuff and draw distance and all that. Honestly, this looks better than I thought. Like this actually, I was ready to write this off just because I'm like, I don't know if I never beat these originally. It's so long. I don't know if I want to go back and do these, but I like the more cartoony style. It kind of matches the PS2 look and like while still making it look a little better. I don't know. I kind of dig it.
Yeah, I mean, as I've said, I'm not the biggest GTA fan, so like this isn't super on my radar, but I do at least have some fond memories of playing GTA 3 back in the day, and I'm curious to revisit that game all this time later. Vice City I kind of bounced off of, and San Andreas, actually. I'm just not a big GTA guy, but I am curious to check these out on modern platforms, so I'll check them out one way or another. You know, maybe I'll borrow a friend's copy or something. I probably won't spring for it myself, just because I know I don't have time to play all three of these games anyway. But I'd like to dip in and just see. Yeah, exactly. Who does right now, right? But I would like to dip back in and just see, the visual upgrade. And I know it's a pretty meager upgrade, but still, it'd be fun to at least dip back into GTA 3 for a bit, cause a little mayhem, see how it's aged. But I'm not like hype for this by any means. I'm just not a big GTA guy.
Yeah, I love GTA, but I will be the first to say that San Andreas just didn't work for me. I think they tacked on too many additional mechanics to it. Like, I didn't care about CJ eating. Like, I didn't like, and then they'd be like, "Oh, you made CJ too fat," and I'm like, "God damn it!" Now they're like, "Need to make him run to get him skinny again." I'm like, "But I love chicken. Yeah. Like, how does this work?" Which, by the way, I guess it was a primer for adulthood.
I can't manage my own caloric intake. What makes you think I can do it in a video game?
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought an exercise bike that I can't bring myself to use, and that's literally to extend my actual life. And there's no way I'm going to make my video game character work out.
Oh my God.
If it's too much for me, it's too much for CJ. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, San Andreas didn't work for me, but Vice City is probably, I would say, with the introduction of 5, Vice City is probably my second favorite GTA game of all time. I actually really love 5. I think that it was a pretty well put together story. I like the difference between, Trevor, Franklin, and Michael. But I feel like Vice City, just that 80s vibe. I think it had Ray Liotta and Burt Reynolds in it. Which,
oh, yeah.
I mean, the voice talent was off the charts good. The music is just insanely great. But what I'm most curious about, because obviously we all know that a PlayStation 5 can run these like 20-year-old games with no problem, without breaking a sweat, even remastered. I really want to see how these perform on the Switch. I'm really excited to see just how well they do on the Switch, specifically in handheld mode. Because handheld GTA has been like a dream for Nintendo for so long. Like, they tried to make it happen on the GBA. They tried to make it happen on the DS. And Chinatown Wars was pretty good, but it didn't ever feel like a full-fledged GTA game. It felt like you were going back to like the GTA 1 and 2 days. So having these portably, and if they perform well, I would be all over this. I'm super hyped to see how these end up looking. So November, 11th? I'm there.
Something like that, yeah. It's pretty quick. It's pretty soon, and that's cool. They did not say whether the entire soundtracks are back though. I'm curious about that.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
The soundtrack, and we all know I'm not a video game music guy, but the soundtrack is what makes GTA Vice City for me. Like, it had such a banging soundtrack. I love this comment from Joanne in our YouTube chat, a buttery smooth 15 FPS, which is probably, that's exactly what I'm afraid of. Like,
giving you that PS2 experience.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like GTA 3 or Vice City or San Andreas ran particularly well on the PS2, but please Nintendo, just get this one, Rockstar, get this one across the finish line without making too many concessions. I remember like driving across LA in LA Noire, which was a very early Switch game, and the city just wouldn't load in quickly enough for the car. Like, I would just start driving and like everything would disappear and it would slowly like pop back in, and I was like, you shipped this. This came out to retail like this. Yeah. I bought this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I bounced off that game.
Yeah. It's definitely difficult. I hope that they took more care with GTA, and I hope that, you know, because they're being oddly quiet about the Switch version. Like, they're like 4K 60 FPS on all these things. Gyro aiming on Switch. You've got gyro aiming. Please be happy. Like, what frame rate is it at, guys? I'll take 540p if it's at 60 FPS in handheld mode. All right. But yeah, GTA Trilogy. I don't have a ton to say about this. We'll see it when it comes out. I'm excited.
Exactly.
But and Kurotama mentioned, or Korotama mentions that it does have touch controls, which, all right, cool. Like I can't imagine wanting to use touch controls on GTA, but they have like camera controls on the touch screen. Sounds like a cool thing to add, but
yeah. Right. By the way, really quick, I just happened to see this on chat. I'm glad I didn't miss it. But Joe in our YouTube chat says, it's my 30th birthday today. Happy freaking birthday, Joe N. Thank you for spending some of it with us. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
And happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, from someone who is in the last year of their 30s. Enjoy them.
Yes. Welcome to your 30s and enjoy them as long as you can. Yep.
Yeah.
I got 4 years left.
Or as much as you can, not as long as you can. We all get to enjoy them for, around the same amount of time, but as much as you can.
Yeah, indeed. Happy 30th birthday, man. That's really, really exciting. I don't know. I guess my 30s were good. We'll see. I'll compare them to my 40s.
Seem to be pretty good so far.
If I'm at the tail end of 49 and I'm just a haggard old piece of shit, then you know that 30s were great in comparison. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're alive, so that works.
Yeah. You know what? I've been having so much fun that need to remind myself. Okay, talking about GTA is probably a good time to talk about what else is going on in the world of PlayStation. Let me throw our next story up on screen. All right, so out of nowhere, this is probably the biggest news story that surprised me that I didn't hear about it before TNT. I literally found out about this as I was gathering news. At 7 this morning, Sony announced that a new State of Play will be happening on Wednesday, the 27th at 2 p.m. Pacific. And I have to wonder, unlike the previous ones, I didn't get to read the details on this. Did anybody read the actual PlayStation blog post? Because sometimes they...
Yes.
It's focused on third party.
Focused on third party. Damn. I was literally going to say that they have to show Horizon Forbidden West at this thing, but maybe not. And I wonder, that kind of throws my expectations out the window. I don't know what to really look forward to on this front. I'm not aware of any big third party games that are coming to PS5, but I'll pose this question to you guys only because I feel like this has come up the last couple State of Plays and Sony related announcements. Do we think that we're going to see anything more on Final Fantasy 16 here?
Possibly.
I don't think so in this one, only because it says it's only going to be, the PlayStation blog post says it's only going to be around 20 minutes or so.
Oh.
And so for them to dedicate such a short show, any chunk of such a short show, to such a massive game, I feel like that's almost unfair to whatever else they could show in such a short span of time. So I feel like maybe not here. But maybe Elden Ring. But again, that's kind of the same issue. Elden Ring would just dwarf most anything else they could show.
Right.
So I agree with you, though, Steve. I don't know what we're really looking at on the third-party side for PlayStation, other than games like Elden Ring and FF16. And maybe that's why they're doing this. Maybe they want to remind us, hey, here's what we got coming down the line with, third-party stuff.
It's time for Deathloop DLC that we get constantly reminded about.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh no! As Moon Knight in our live audience chat says, Stranger of Paradise. We could see more Stranger of Paradise, although we did just get that new demo. So,
I still have not checked that out. I know I haven't checked it out either.
I
played it a little bit, and I didn't like it. Sadly,
oh my God.
The gameplay.
So I was really excited for the Stranger of Paradise demo, like when you guys described it to me, and we talked about it with the scene where the guy is like, bullshit, and just starts playing some fucking music, and I thought that it was like exaggeration or hyperbole, and then I ran into a clip of it on Twitter, and I was like, I have to play this game. There's no way I can't play this game now. I need to find the time. I'm going to play it this weekend at some point, just because I need to see that in context, like in full context, because at least what I've seen clipped on Twitter is just utterly hilarious, and I don't know how you make it not hilarious, but I wonder if we'll see Stranger of Paradise, just because I do feel like they've Deathloop style been bombarding us with this game, which is really weird because the response is so negative.
I mean,
yeah,
it does more. I don't know. Hard to say, honestly. We might see it. I do know that whatever it ends up being, it's going to have to include some licensed music because, thank you, Sony. There is a warning, like, hey, we are perfectly okay with you co-streaming and all that, but be warned, there is they may include copyrighted content that PlayStation does not control, and that might get claimed. So
yeah, I appreciate the warning for sure. And I also appreciate that unlike Nintendo and what they usually do, this thing is at 2 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Sony, for not making this a 7 a.m. direct style presentation.
It could have been a little earlier because, we got 2 hours after this thing starts. So
no, it's true. I mean, that's why it's good. It's only 20 minutes. I do look. I mean, yes, it'd be nice if it was like noon or 11 a.m. But beggars can't be choosers. I'm just glad it's not 7 a.m. So, I'm not going to complain that it's at 2 p.m.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. 2 p.m. is a good time. Unfortunately, I will not be able to be there. Not because of anything really bad in particular, but my boss from my day job is flying into town that day and asked me to go to Phoenix all day long. And I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. So of course they hold it right
after the chat for Steve.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is kind of cursed for you.
It really is. Like
you need to really. It's gonna be like you and Phoenix is gonna be like Homer in New York.
It's like I work from home until I don't. So yeah, I will unfortunately be indisposed. I'll try to find a way to sneak away and maybe do it from a different recording location than usual. Because there is a whole at my office there is an actual like full on broadcast setup rig that is full of stuff I recommended they buy that's sitting unused. Oh, nice. So if I can sneak away for 20 minutes and watch the PlayStation presents with you guys, I'll try to sneak my way in. No, don't
just invite your boss on with us. Just ask your boss, like, hey, you want to react to PlayStation games with us, man?
Your kids will think you're super cool. I'm just kidding. My kids don't think I'm cool at all.
Well, we think you're cool, so don't worry. We'll make up for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
And look at all the Fs in the chat you're getting, man, for not being able to be there on Wednesday.
By the way,
many Fs.
I feel honor bound to correct in the chat. I'm not 49. I'm 39. I do look great for 49.
Yeah.
Amazing for 49. What's your secret?
You look terrible for 29.
I do. Yeah. I look like the world's most torn up 19-year-old. And I look like a biological monster of a 9-year-old.
I mean,
oh god.
They do cast some like 27-year-olds as teenagers sometimes, so maybe you have an in.
I didn't know that they were remaking the movie Jack and having you play that role.
Oh god.
Oh god.
I'm like horrifying. Benjamin Button at his youngest.
Oh man, that movie.
I've not seen it, but
yeah, no. For what I was trying to say, for those of you that got confused, I totally get how it could be confusing. I said, ask me in 10 years when I'm 49 how my 30s went. And I guarantee probably good because I'll be complaining about how bad my bones hurt. But anyway, that's that. We will be live reacting, or at least most of us will be live reacting to the PlayStation State of Play next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Hopefully I'll be there. I'm going to do my best. I just can't make a guarantee. The odds are against me, though. So we'll do our best. Anyway, moving on. This is going to be an interesting story for me, and I'm glad you saved it, Ash, because there was like a new development in the story. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up on screen, and we'll chat about it real quick here.
Cool.
So it got announced today that Grasshopper has moved away from Gung Ho to NetEase. And this is kind of the tip of the iceberg. So Suda announced this, and on its own, it's not really a compelling news story. Taken in conjunction with both stories we've reported here on TNT in the past, as well as other things that Suda51 has been talking about, it becomes a lot more interesting. So let me go ahead and try to illuminate that for you here real quick. So initially, we just reported on news that the head of RGG Studio also took a job at NetEase. So it seems like NetEase though they're keen to acquire all kinds of stuff, seems to be building up an internal suite of studios to make it original content. They, like most corporate overlords, are saying like, oh, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to mess with what Grasshopper does, and so on and so forth. But Suda has kind of been on the interview circuit since the release of No More Heroes 3. I swear to God, someday we'll get him in here to talk to us. Hopefully. I'm looking at you, Aaron Cooper. Anyway, we're trying to broker an interview with him. But in interviews he's been talking about the future of No More Heroes. He's kind of like backpedaled ever so slightly on the whole No More Heroes is over thing. If you remember, a couple months back, we reported that Suda51 said that No More Heroes is just done. It's over. He's not coming back to it. In a recent interview with Destructoid, he used the term no more, but then when pressed on it, he was like, maybe for like 10 years. Maybe for 10 years, I'll take a break from the series. And he went so far as to not out and out confirm, but heavily imply that Shadows of the Damned is probably coming back. And if you're not familiar with that, it's one of Grasshopper Manufacture's original series, and that was kind of the point throughout that entire Destructoid interview that Suda was trying to make, is that Grasshopper only owns 10% of No More Heroes. So in essence, they are borrowing the IP every time they make a game for it. And he wants to focus on games and IPs that he owns, that Grasshopper owns. Which is why he's not keen to continue No More Heroes right now, because he doesn't really have a lot of ownership over it. And he further said that he has a 10-year plan for the studio that includes some new original IPs, 3 to be specific, and some reboots. And he did even go as far as to say is that some of the characters that Grasshopper owns that were in No More Heroes 3, potentially like Midori Kawa, will be in these original games that they're working on. So there's a lot going on around Grasshopper right now. I don't think we'll see fruit from that for a couple years at best, but it is interesting to see the situation they're in. It's kind of similar to Yu Suzuki and Shenmue, where, Yu Suzuki doesn't own the franchise, but has been able to borrow it from Sega and make new content with it. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Andy, are you a fan of any of Grasshopper's stuff? Have you played No More Heroes or Shadows of the Damned or anything?
I've only played No More Heroes, and I am a fan of it. I am a fan of the series, and I didn't know that he owned so little percentage of the IP, which has got to be a terrible feeling. Like, the fact that you put all this blood, sweat, and tears into this amazing game, which so many people love, and you have very little say over it. Like, does he have a lot of creative say over it, or is it just like the monetary side?
So my understanding, from what Suda has said in interviews, is that when Marvelous, allows him to make a game or some kind of content within the series, that he does have full creative control over it, but ultimately, any ownership of any characters he creates for the series or the games themselves are all owned by Marvelous. And the air that I get from those interviews, and this is me just reading tea leaves, right, is that he seems to, be demotivated by the fact that he just can't do whatever he wants, that he has to seek approval for it. Like, if he wants to make a No More Heroes game or have Travis Touchdown in a different game, then he needs to seek that approval out from Marvelous and, basically get their say-so to do what he wants to do. And while, he is quick to say like, oh, they've been good to me, they've treated me right, they've let me do what I want to do with the franchise, he also says, I don't want to work on franchises I don't own. So I definitely get the sense that he's a little bit bitter about the fact that the ownership of the series that he's arguably most well known for is so unevenly divided.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. By the way, Andy, I was just going to say, Andy, that was a test, by the way. When Steve asked you if you'd played No More Heroes and you said yes, you passed. That was a test. And then when you said you were a fan, now you're like one of his best friends. So you passed both tests. Just so you know. Yeah.
You'll receive a text from my agent soon.
There you go. I'm interested in the reboot. Like, it's interesting he's talking about Shadows of the Damned, because I rented that and it was fine. It was not my favorite. Obviously, a lot of things went wrong with that game, but And I was actually going to ask about this, but it was kind of answered by Koratama in the YouTube chat saying, can we pray he gets the Lollipop Chainsaw back from WB Games? Because that's what I was going to say. I really enjoyed Lollipop Chainsaw, and it sucks. Apparently, he doesn't own that one, because I'd love to see him get the chance to work with James Gunn again and just do more with
about
this.
That game was so cool.
I never played Shadows of the Damned. I've heard of it, but I never actually played it myself. I don't really have too much to say. I was just more, when I was gathering news for Wednesday and this came up, I wanted to save this for Steve for when he was on the show, just because I'm just worried about you, man. I know how much you love Travis Touchdown and No More Heroes, and I want you to be okay with the state of the series and the state of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely demotivating to find out that, this is the reason he doesn't want to continue the series. To find, I feel like he's very subtly throwing shade at Marvelous. Like, let me have my fucking creation back, because honestly, I think that people associate No More Heroes with Suda51 the same way people associate Mario with Shigeru Miyamoto, wildly different games and people, of course, but a similar concept in the public eye. Like, No More Heroes without Suda51 is akin to making a Metal Gear without Hideo Kojima. Like, you expect that person's thumbprint to be on that series forever. And I don't think that Grasshopper would ever cut him completely out, but I feel like they've put him in a position where he doesn't see the benefit of continuing the series from a personal standpoint. And that sucks. That is so rough. Like, I can't imagine. It would be like, if all of a sudden, like, 4 new guys came in and started doing TNT and let me know that they own the channel. It'd just be weird. Like, I can't imagine, having made something and then knowing that someone else could at any moment, completely within their rights, take it from you and do whatever they want with it.
I mean, I was going to wait until the end of the show, but I did buy the show, and you are all on very thin ice.
Yeah, I know, right? And so soon after you pass Steve's test too. Ouch. Late Night Sprite says, we have seen them make games without creators. It's called Mega Man X6 and Apollo Justice, and they are both super bad. You might get some pushback on the Apollo Justice part, but Mega Man X6, I don't think most people are going to argue with you there.
Alternatively, Mega Man 11 is just fine without Inafune. So
exactly, I was actually just about to say that. GMTA again, man. Yeah, so it's not always a hard and fast rule that a series' original creator has to be involved for a game to be good, but it certainly helps, or it can help.
Yeah,
absolutely. Before we move on, I think we just had a super chat about Deathloop, but I do want to read this one out from RecBCQ with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, by the way. Says, No More Heroes is done, but an overabundance of heroes is on track to release by holiday 2022. And that is exactly the kind of thing I think I'm afraid of. So I know normally on our hosting days, we like to have like the Steve or the Ash or the Derek story of the day. And technically that was this one here, even though it was picked out by Ash here. But today I wanted to put out a story that is actually catered to one of our executive producers. So I'm going to call this one the Becca's Live story of the day.
Nice.
It has been announced that Concerned Ape has revealed his latest game, the follow-up to Stardew Valley. So he's finally shown what he's been working on, and it's called Concerned Ape's Haunted Chocolatier. And if you look at it like on the surface, it looks very Stardew Valley-ish. Like it doesn't look
cute
at all different, visually. But and he mentions that in the reveal, just saying like, oh, this is the like if Stardew Valley is the sun, Haunted Chocolatier is the moon. And he says that they're like two sides of the same coin, but he wanted to explore something that wasn't like a traditional setting, something that didn't really happen in the real world. So I guess you run this chocolate shop, and then at night you go out to fight monsters and gather ingredients and stuff to sell to people. It sounds interesting.
It's a bit like Moonlighter.
Yep.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
I played the crap out of that game.
Moonlighter is fantastic. Yeah, you're like a shopkeep during the day, then you go into dungeons and fight people and collect stuff to sell in said shop at night. Definitely love that game. It's one of my favorite Switch indie titles. But I'm interested to see where this goes because there's no platforms announced. He says it's very, very early on. and he's working on, still core mechanics to the game. Even he said he kind of works in like a vertical slice format, so that's why he has a trailer, is because he tends to build entire segments of the game top to bottom and then do that over and over again. I've heard from some of the folks that he's worked with in the past that approach to development can make working with him a little difficult, just because his games are like, they don't track with traditional development processes. And so people from like publishers and stuff like that are working with him tend to get frustrated because they don't know when to work with him on dates and stuff like that. But it is interesting to see. Like, I wonder, do you guys think this will have like a similar level of success as Stardew Valley, or do you think that was kind of like a flash in the pan type of scenario?
I think there's enough love for Stardew Valley, and they say it's from the creator of Stardew Valley. I think that's enough to get people interested. Just sort of like how, Deltarune is doing just as well as Undertale. Has that level of dedication to it. And this, I mean, you look at this, it looks like Stardew Valley, Yeah. It just, it has that exact same vibe. It's from the same person. It just has a sort of a different idea around it, and it makes sense. I can see this doing very well. And who doesn't love chocolate? I mean, I showed this
ghosts carrying chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I showed this to Amy. I should go grab her to get her thoughts on this for a second. But she was into this completely. The only thing she's a little like unsure about is like when it got into the haunted aspects. She's like, I don't know about this. Where's just, where's the good, where's just the fun stuff here? I don't know why I want it to be haunted. But otherwise, like, yeah, she's sold immediately just from this one trailer.
Nice.
It does seem as though maybe there is a slightly less, like a less just universally lovable quality to Haunted Chocolatier. Like, I think I agree with you guys. I think it's going to do very well. I think just the fact that it is from the creator of Stardew Valley is going to get it going. Like you said, Derek, about Deltarune and Undertale. But I think the vibe and the aesthetic and the concept of Stardew Valley is maybe a little bit more universally easily loved than something that's a little bit more specific, like Haunted Chocolatier. But I still think that it's going to do very well. I would be surprised if it didn't. And it might just have a slightly more uphill battle to climb just because of the maybe less readily lovable aesthetic, or at least theme, that's just so easily applied across the board. But that's really the only thing that I could say might be working, and I don't even want to say against it. It just might be less smooth sailing right out of the gate than Stardew Valley had. But I still think it's going to do very well.
Well, the other interesting thing is that this genre the Stardew Valley genre has exploded since the release of Stardew Valley. There are so many games out there that involve farming or a certain level of coziness, or just, making that sort of thing work. And now there seems to be on the surface, it seems like it'll have a bit more competition, but if it is more like Moonlighter, I think Moonlighter is the only game I can think of that has that sort of aspect to it. So maybe by going in a different direction, putting his touch onto a slightly different genre while still maintaining the elements that people loved about Stardew Valley. Because I already saw people commenting about the human designs, the people you can likely date in this, and they're like, yeah, I'm down. It's just like, it just has that immediate appeal.
Yeah, I agree that if you're, and I recently in our Fight of Founders sessions was playing Stardew Valley for the first time ever with Becca's Live, which is why I brought this story up for her. But it's a fun game. It's a lot more involved than Animal Crossing, but not quite as daunting for me as like Harvest Moon games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does.
It's free form, which is the thing that kind of scared me off. It's like, oh God, there's too much to do and I have very little direction. I'm done. I just couldn't handle it. I need a little bit of direction, and it's just too much for me. Mm-hmm. This might have the direction I require. That's why I prefer
Plus, I like the
Dragon Quest Builders to Minecraft.
Right. Sure. Plus, I also like the action RPG mechanics we saw. We only saw like a snippet of them in the trailer, but this is going to have a bit more of an action RPG focus with some combat. Anytime I see numbers pop out of an enemy when I deal damage, that just scratches some itch I never knew I had. It just makes me feel good. I love seeing numbers pop out of enemies in video games. So, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, this immediately has a little bit more personal appeal to me, just for the action RPG angle. So, and I love chocolate. So, and I love, I love horror stories, ghost stories. So this seems like it might be up my alley more than something like Stardew Valley.
I did get a little bit of a Willy Wonka vibe off of this, like going through the door and through the forest and like, okay, I guess you go out to the woods, these special woods in order to get special chocolate and become the best chocolatier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I think it'll be interesting when it launches.
I wonder, is it going to have the like multiplayer capability just like Stardew Valley? They probably haven't said anything about that yet, have they?
I thought actually on this article right here, I don't think there's any multiplayer planned. Yeah, no plans of more multiplayer at this time.
Okay.
To be fair, didn't they add multiplayer to Stardew like pretty late? Like it took a long time. Real quick, I want to address this from James in our YouTube chat. Totally unrelated, but because I recently upgraded to the Switch OLED, I'm hoping I can help. James says, I lost my Animal Crossing save file when I transferred to the OLED. RIP. You might not have. If you still have it and you didn't erase it, like you didn't format it to nothing, then your Animal Crossing data is still there. I've transferred my Animal Crossing island between 2 different Switches, and I know because I made your mistake the very first time when I went from the Animal Crossing Switch to the Mario Switch, which is somewhere in this room. There is a separate app on the eShop just for transferring Animal Crossing. So if you have that Switch with you still, just go grab that and use it. You'll have to sign back into your Nintendo account. Sucks, but your data should still be there if you haven't erased it. So good luck. I hope that helps you. I hope you're able to save your island, because I would be gutted if I lost like
terrified.
The 400 hours
good luck
that I put into it.
Speaking of the Switch OLED, as a quick reminder to everyone watching, we're giving one away for free when we hit 75,000 subs right here on YouTube, and all you got to do to win it is be subscribed, and you have a chance. So
it's
just
not
be subscribed when you hit 75K, but it is in
your
room. It is in your room.
Yeah, the brand new one's in my closet.
The one he's been using into the box and then opened the brand new one for himself.
Steve dropped it in a bag of Doritos. That's it. That's it right there.
Yeah, that's it. Also, I wanted to address something else from our YouTube chat really quickly. Thomas Nerds Out. It's great to see your name again in the chat, by the way, Thomas, saying, been a while since I've been here. Send some good vibes to me as I'm struggling to find a job where I live. No one wants to hire me for some reason. Well,
we have one.
I can't imagine. Oh, there we go. Nice. I can't imagine, Thomas, why. I'm sure you're awesome. I'm sure it's not personal, but I did want to just all of us send you good vibes, of course. Good luck finding a job. We love you. We're happy to see you here in the chat. We hope to see you more. But, good luck. And we're all sending you good vibes on your job search for sure.
Absolutely. And I do want to mention to Skull Kid Tiger, who super chatted earlier, congrats on landing a job at your local GameStop. That's really cool. If you were local to me, I'd buy stuff from you constantly, even though I don't normally go there.
Yeah.
Either way,
so
please take this from me. I want to give this away.
75,000.
If I was the one that won, I would request the one that has the dirty Dorito handprints on it from Steve. I want that one.
Yeah,
give me that one.
I feel like a whole bag of Takis just for you.
Thank you. That would have all your gaming energy in it, and then
true.
it would make me a better Game Boy.
Ooh.
There you go.
I like what you did there.
Dad joke of the day.
So I texted Amy about the fact that we were talking about Haunted Chocolatier, because I wanted to get her thoughts, and she's into Stardew Valley.
I didn't even see your text.
She didn't even see my text. She just happened to come up here, so it worked out. It was meant to be. So Amy, have a seat. And since I know very little about Stardew Valley and all that, here's.
Oh no.
Oh.
He's already upset at me.
Well, I mean, my hair is bad. I'm not dressed for this at all.
If it makes you feel any better, our hair is bad every day.
You look better than me. God.
But I do have this cool shirt on from The Office.
That's The Office.
Stings.
Oh, awesome.
Not many people recognize this shirt. They're like, "Oh, you went to Scranton?" All right.
Who was your favorite character from that book?
Exactly.
So what are you thinking about Haunted Chocolatier, Amy? Like, how are you feeling about it?
Well, when I first saw it, I was definitely super excited. Right at the end, it like tricked me with the whole haunted aspect, and I was like, wait a second, what's that? But it just seemed like really fun. It had Moonlighter-esque stuff going on because of the whole shopping. It seemed like you could go either grow, harvest, battle, get some ingredients to put in your shop. I honestly only saw it one time, so I don't know why Derek has put me in expert status. But I'm really excited about it. I definitely am going to be playing it. It looks like it's straight out of Stardew Valley, so I love that. I love those kind of games too. So
Nice.
I don't know what else to say.
Right. Cool. No, hey, I mean, you played it more than all of us have, so
yeah. I've played 1 hour of that game.
Expert.
I do love cozy games. Yes, that is
nice,
definite.
and
we're all about cozy here.
Yeah. Do you think that the haunted aspect is likely to put you off at all, or do you think that's?
I'm a little bit concerned that it might take it down a notch, but if they do it in a way that's more, I guess maybe in a spiritual, deeper kind of sense, that's all right. But if it's going to be super creepy and nightmarish, then that might take it down for me, because I do like the really chill, cozy stuff for those types of games. I don't really want to be scared necessarily. I don't think it is, just because, I mean, they popped that in right at the end, so I didn't see any flavors of like, this is going to be really creepy during
these cute little ghosts just floating around, like working in your shop. It looks so adorable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
it seemed to be like spooky in a cute way. Yeah,
like a Willy Wonka, and they were like maybe the Oompa Loompas or something. I'm not sure. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe it's going to be more Spirit Fair type thing. I don't know. I have no idea if it's going to tie something like that in. That would be nice. That would be a good thing, not a bad thing for me.
Yeah,
I don't know. What about you, Derek? What did you say? I wasn't even here to hear what he said.
He said he hates it, and anybody who likes Stardew Valley is dead to him.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I definitely got the same vibe though, Amy. I like when I saw the trailer, I got more like cute, cartoony, spooky, not actually scary, like horror. You know, I got just kind of fun, cute, spooky, and I think that's kind of what it'll probably end up being.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That sounds good. But if it's like really happy and go lucky, and then all of a sudden there's some kind of snap moment in the game, and then it's horrible, and you're like in hell or something, then I'm not gonna like that.
Thanos pops out and snaps his fingers.
Exactly.
And the Thanos just turns into like crumbling ash demons and.
I mean, chocolate is inevitable, though. Let's all agree. Chocolate is and should be inevitable.
It is inevitable.
Yeah. I mean,
I wonder how they're going to work in, like, are you going to learn about the ghosts that are with you? I feel like there's probably some opportunities for some fun, like, death-based humor, some fun, like, dark humor. What if they're like, I don't need a lunch break.
Dark humor for dark chocolot.
Yeah.
There we go.
What if it's like you inherited this chocolate factory and there's a big fire because your uncle was a terrible boss. This is bad. This is bad.
Yeah.
It was built on some like spiritual sacred ground.
And they can't pass on unless they make their quota of chocolate. So it's like a bunch of Dwight Schrutes running around trying to sell chocolate that are ghosts.
I like where you're going with this. I think we need to get you involved in this game's development, man.
Yeah. Get at me.
Yeah.
Come on. I work for pennies.
Well, thank you for the cameo, Amy. Thanks for swooping in and being our expert.
Next time you hear Derek really confused, just shove him aside and fill in.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Exactly.
I'll let you know next time we have an Animal Crossing story on the show, so Derek can just like not look confused.
Yeah.
Exactly. He will just look zoned out the whole time, like there's animals.
That's me when these two get deep into Kingdom Hearts.
To say about Animal Crossing.
That's true. Yeah, whenever we start talking Kingdom Hearts, Steve just kind of goes.
You can see me slowly sink into my chair. This thing goes back pretty far. Just
become a nobody.
Just gonna get out of here.
Well, thank you so much for letting me pop in. Hopefully, I was able to provide something.
All good. Thanks for being our expert.
Oh well, thank you. It was good to see you all. Thank you. Hello, chat. Goodbye, chat.
You too, Amy.
I'll be in the chat because I can now go downstairs and enjoy the show now that Kai's asleep. So, yeah.
Nice. Nice.
So, thank you all so much.
All right. Bye. Really quick before we move on to the end of the show, I did want to address one super chat that was addressed specifically to me earlier in the show.
I couldn't hear, but I saw chat saying I got sold out. What the heck?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll tell you when you're older. We'll tell you when you're older. Yeah. Z Media with $4.99 specifically asked me, with Mega Man, Banjo, and Sora all here, what are my next 3 Dream Smash characters? And I haven't completely, fully locked this in, but definitely Klonoa, definitely a Rhythm Heaven character, and I want to say maybe either Shantae or Shovel Knight would probably be my third one, but definitely Klonoa and a Rhythm Heaven character.
This is toxic fandom.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to bed, Sakurai.
Not that I'm complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm happy without them. We've gotten everything I can.
Still not satisfied.
Sakurai is just going to be lying in bed at night, and he's going to be, I must make more.
Yeah.
I forgot about Waluigi.
Oh no, he didn't.
Oh wait, no,
he didn't.
That those negotiations just go like Sakurai is like finally rested, the bags under his eyes disappear, he returns to his youthful appearance of a 14-year-old boy, and then like someone from Nintendo just walks in and they're like, we need you to make Smash again, and he's like, I said never again. And then they just open a briefcase full of like platinum bars, and he's like, I do love my Mercedes.
I mean, it could also be like I think they announced Brawl before they asked him to do it.
Oh yeah, they absolutely did. Which by
they
the
did.
way,
I remember that.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna smear your legacy. So Yin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
That one was almost more of like Iwata just being like, "Wake up, bitch! It's time to make Smash."
Yeah.
Like, if you were my friend, damn you.
Searchman DS, no specific character, just Rhythm Heaven at all. I just want Rhythm Heaven and Smash. But Chorus Kids would be great, since we know they were planned for Smash 4 at one point. So, and I love them; they're cute. So, yeah,
nice.
Well, we'll see. I'm excited to see where Smash ends up, but that sounds like a great topic for the post show, which we'll be headed to here shortly. It's going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. But before we do that, we have to sign off for the evening. This show has to end before the next show can start, right? So before we do that, Iron Andy, man, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure when you're on. Conversation just seems to flow so naturally.
Oh, boy.
Hell yeah.
For our friends here in the audience, where can they find you and the things you're doing online at, my friend?
My house, my address to my house is 310. No, I'm on Twitch under Iron Andy and YouTube, and all my social handles are Iron Andy MK85. I've actually been kind of switching between playing a lot of Pokemon Unite and doing minifig painting. I'm just so it's so relaxing just painting these figures, and I just made this DeLorean for Back to the Future Day.
That's cool.
DeLorean for Warhammer, and it's there's something about it. It's just really chilled. Like, I never really understood why people watch the quiet painting streams or artist drawing, but yeah, that's I get it now. It's a lot of fun. Just put on some chill vibe music and go to town. So Iron Andy on Twitch and on Instagram, and the other one, Twitter. That one, Iron Andy MK85.
Nice.
Or Redbubble. You can get one of these dumb shirts. Look at my faces on it.
And by the way, for just for everyone's information, I'm lucky enough to know Andy personally as a very good friend of mine, and his streams, his whole vibe is exactly what we're all about here: inclusivity, kindness, good vibes, love, all that great stuff. And so if you like what we do here, you should definitely go join his streams, check out his Twitch, because he's all about those very, very same concepts and values. So Andy, you know, I love you, man. Thanks for being on the show.
I love you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, now that we know where we can find our good friend Andy it's time for us to start making our way to the post show. And that begins by giving a thank you to all of our patrons, big and small, for helping to make this show happen. We could not do this without you. And I want to take a moment out of the intro that I say so often to thank all of you guys. I know that I announced kind of out of the blue that I'd only be doing Friday episodes. It's something I really, really had to do. It's not a decision I made lightly. It was a very difficult one for me. And I didn't get a single fucking nasty message or anything from anyone on any platform I posted that on. And that is not about me and who I am. That's about you guys and who you all are. So I just want to say, you know,
Hell yeah.
I stressed, I cried, I took on a lot internally about having to make that choice. But it was the right one for my family, and it was a choice that I had to make. And the fact that you guys were all just so kind and so incredibly understanding means the world to me. So thank each and every one of you personally from the bottom of my heart. You guys took what was a stressful situation for me and made me realize that I probably should have just been more open with you guys a long time ago. So I appreciate that. But enough about me. Let's talk about the show. We do have our patrons to give thanks to. Without you guys, we wouldn't keep the lights on. I wouldn't even have the luxury of doing a show at all were it not for you guys supporting us. And with that comes a extra special thank you to our producers. You guys help make this show possible. There's so many of you that it's hard to list all y'all at the same time. But trust me, you can see those names scrolling on screen right now. Each one of you is incredibly important to us. And we have to give an extra special thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And all of you beautiful individuals are Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Fangs, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, High Roll Hermit, Sky Blue Flames, Adam O'Sullivan, Octopuppet, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Romsky113, Critter XD, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vedron Hotik, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Azran127, Black King, Pagrema, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Geeky Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Orem M, Sakuragi, Becca, Killamox, Fizzywig Hoyd, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kayed, Kit Fisto, Kenneth Lee Stingle, Deaneth, Kota, Sci-Fi Lullabies, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber, Straightlace, Justin Matthews, Hoobie, Too Much Spaghetti, Mega Conrad, Ascaron 809, Rioner, Ditto M, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, Spicy Pandaughter, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Synchro Lord, my mom. Hi, Mom. Kotar Peck, Scuff 196, Kane Woolley, Skull Kid Tiger, Dark Steel 01, Blizzica, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Phantom Project, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jursic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Dinner Sonic, Darik, Chibi J, Stag Nasty, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Screamo Shaman, Mason Riley, Keel, Santi the Person, Brandon Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Rizemon, Eastman 23, Rizemon, and Helen Cannon. Woo! Thank you all so much.
So much longer than it was previously.
Yes,
it grows.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me that you all are here to support us. But if you too would like to become a patron and join us on the post show that we're headed to right now, you can head over to patreon.com/GVGaming to find out more. We're going to go ahead and wrap this show up here. But a quick reminder, we are ever so close to 70,000 subscribers. And when we get there, Ash and Derek are going to participate in No Shave November to see what they'd look like with apparently what is a bear attracting beard. And
well, if we get there by November, I think we have to get there by November.
Only so many days. We got like a week left, a little over a week.
A week and only 300 subscribers away, folks. So if you're not subscribed, get subscribed.
If you guys can get to 71, I'll shave my beard.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. That's huge.
Extra 1,000. I know it's kind of a big stretch, But you guys can do it. I'll shave my beard. And my wife says I look like a little baby.
So there we go. Look at that. We got other people joining in on this. And a reminder, if we get to 75, this can be yours. I want to get this out of my house. So please, please subscribe to GVG. All you got to do is be subscribed. One lucky subscriber will get their hands on a brand new Switch OLED shipped anywhere in the world free of charge. But thank you guys so much for watching. We're headed to the post show. Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. We will see you all next time. And until then, good night and good vibes. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.